So Essay, this is interesting because we're going straight in. I didn't really even we haven't had that much conversation like one to one before we had this podcast episode. So I'm excited to see how this goes because but I like going freestyle and keeping things natural. I like when things sound natural and not so, pre-planned and everything. So I hope it sounds good to everyone else. So um, so welcome to the room, guys. Welcome to the podcast today. I'm with Essay. Essay, how do we say your last name? Jibs? Or is that just a nickname?
That's like a short form of my surname. My surname is Jibroma.
Oh, Jibroma.
So we call the Jibs. Yeah, Jibroma.
Oh, okay. Where's that from? What is that? That's Nigerian, obviously, but what part of Nigeria?
Yeah. Yes. I'm from Delta State. Urobo by tribe.
Say that again. What was the last thing you said?
I said I'm from Delta State and I'm Urobo by tribe.
Oh, Urobo. Okay, cool. Because I'm from Delta State as well, but I'm Igbo. I'm up.
Oh, okay.
Asaba. So yeah, that's awesome. So I think we can just jump straight into it. I think the people are on stage. They're ready to learn from you. Ready to, just pick up as much knowledge as possible. So first things first, I think it'll be good to get to know you a bit more. So maybe if you could just introduce yourself on the top level, what you do from the rice to the consulting, and then we can start getting this conversation going.
Okay, quick one. My name is Esther Jibroma. I'm currently the co-founder and senior vice president for Charis Global. We're into rice processing, rice production and sales. And presently we have a trademark product in the market. It's called Charis Rice. It's a long grain Nigeria rice. It's in the market, and we're penetrating the Abuja market, the Lagos market. We have presence in North Central, Kwara State, and we are making some fits into the Southeast, Anambra State, Abia State, and looking to penetrate in the new year. So that's that and that.
Fantastic. Okay, so rice is an interesting one. Like I said, most of us eat rice, but a lot of us don't really know how it's grown, how it's cultivated, where most of the Nigerian rice comes from. So first of all, what made you decide to go into rice of all the different crops to get into?
Okay, for me, rice is not just a crop. Rice is significant to our lives. When we were born, rice was used to celebrate us. And when every one of us die, rice will be used to celebrate us. Rice has become an integral part of our daily life. Rice is basically a symbol of celebration, especially in these parts of Africa. Growing up as kids, we always look forward to Sunday, so we eat rice. At least if we ate all kinds of food during the week. On Sunday, we'll eat rice. On Christmas Day, we'll eat rice. On New Year Day, we'll eat rice. On Easter, we'll eat rice. And you see, it's the most consumed staple food. Do you understand? To the end of time, people would need rice. Do you understand? So it's not even an industry where you come in to compete. It's an industry where you just come in to complete. Do you understand? To complement the already existing players, because there's space for everyone. Do you understand? Less competition, money. Do you understand? And yes, you're still providing this solution. You're playing your role in actually reducing world hunger. Do you understand? And making this rice sufficient for everyone to celebrate on their special days.
That's fantastic. I like that. Not to compete, but to complete. And like you said, there's a lot of. I mean, I'm hearing it for the first time. You said there's a lot of space in the rice value chain. So I'm gonna go straight into it because when I researched rice, I know that the Nigerian government has made efforts to sort of restrict imported rice and banning the importation of rice and trying to encourage a local rice economy. And I've heard, right, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, that we get a lot of rice that's imported illegally or whatever from China that's a lot cheaper than the rice that we can make here. So looking at the context of Nigeria right now, how are you actually able to have a functioning rice business? Because if all I'm hearing is true and the Chinese are flooding the markets with cheap rice, how can Nigerians actually participate or compete with the Chinese stuff that's coming in?
Okay, good. Yeah, it's good you brought this up. You see, in every sector of the world, there are always loopholes and there are always bad eggs. Do you understand? There are always loopholes and there are bad eggs. Yes, it's true that there are smugglings you get of rice into the market, and this smuggling is because the our internal capacity as small, medium, or cottage industries that are into rice production or rice farming cannot feed the nation. Do you understand? Because we're not well equipped yet. Do you understand? To be able to feed the nation. The nation is going to over 200 million. Do you understand? And we've not been able to meet the optimum production to feed the nation. So it's this loopholes that is actually encouraging the smuggling. Do you understand? So if the government and other agencies that other NGOs that are interested in the enhancement of the agricultural sector can come together and set down plans and policies to equip the rice production, the rice processing, the rice farming sector in this country, it would discourage, it would not eradicate. Do you understand? It would not eradicate, but it will reduce this menace. It will reduce this smuggling to the barest minimum. Do you understand? Because you see, most of the cottage industries use fabricated machines to make some of this rice. So some of this rice don't meet up international standards. They're not as clean as you want them to be. They are not well sorted. I guess we have stones in them. So not all these cottage industries have the equipments that they want, that they need to be able to produce rice of international standards. Do you understand? So these limitations is what allows some of the rice that the local producers put into the market. Some of the people don't buy it because, okay, this rice is stone, it's filled with stone. I can't do this. Do you understand? And they go for the smuggled imported rice. Do you understand? People need quality, but we need to build capacity to be able to maintain that quality in the country.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. So I'm trying to figure out now, because you said that we're not like full, we're not reaching our potential is the message that you're getting across. So I'm trying to understand what part of the value chain is the biggest bottleneck. Is it that we're not cultivating enough rice? Is it that we are using, cottage industry or small to medium size or machines that work on a small scale and scalability is the issue? What's really the biggest issue with getting into rice in Nigeria?
You see, basically it's from the bottom up, from the cultivation. Do you understand? The rainfall pattern, the site selection, the soil test, poor fertility of the soils, pest attacks, drought. Do you understand? Those are the internal and biotic factors and abiotic factors that affect. Then when you move on, then at the end of the day, in harvest, there are post-harvest losses. Do you understand? And those post-harvest losses come from poor technical know-how, because most of the farmers that are into rice farming are peasant farmers, or called illiterate farmers. They're not educated, so they still harvest this rice in the cultural practices, the old ways. So we still have a lot of losses. On a rice farm where you're supposed to have maybe about 4 to 6 metric tons per hectare as output, we're still having 2.5 to 3 metric tons per hectare when we can actually have 6. Do you understand? So there are a lot of post-harvest losses. Now, when we come into the processing, now there's a problem with poor equipment. Do you understand? Poor equipment. So at every step of the way, there is a challenge. At every step of the way, there's a challenge, from the cultivation to the production to the harvesting, even to the sales. There are challenges. Do you understand? like you see last year, for instance, there was low turnout, low output in the production of rice because of the rainfall pattern. Do you understand? Even at harvest period when we're supposed to be drying the paddy, the rain was still falling. Do you understand? So that actually affected. Do you understand? So the rainfall pattern is also something that has to be put into consideration. But you see, moving forward, there have been partnership with the Meteorological Association and Society to give farmers adequate and precise weather report. Because one important thing to know in planting rice is there's a time of sowing. Do you understand? There's a time to sow and there's a time to reap. So you must understand the cropping calendar in a particular area. Do you understand? The cropping calendar that exists in the west, in the south, does not exist in the north. You have to understand the cropping calendar. So at this point in time, that is when you can actually sow. So you prepare your land, you do your site preparation and all of that, then you sow. Do you understand? So all of that knowledge is just coming up in this path of the country. So there's a lot of extension work to do to actually reduce this maximally.
That's interesting. That's interesting. So there's clearly challenges in every part of the supply chain, and for me,
Exactly.
like as an entrepreneur, I see it as where there's challenges, there's opportunities as well. So I think
exactly.
that people shouldn't be discouraged by the number of challenges that they see. But I'm curious to understand because last time I spoke to you, you told me that your farm is in Kebbi. Is that correct? So can you tell us about your setup? Like, are you on a smaller scale? Do you own a farm? Do you just do the processing and packaging? Like, what do you do in your company?
Presently, we are actively into just processing and production. Do you understand? We outsource paddy from farmers. Then we're into livestock farming. We have some fishes. We have over 6,000 fishes at the moment. And then we have some cows and we have some birds. And we're into maize production. We have some granola. But those are for feed formulation, basically, because we're looking to diversify into feeds formulation. Do you understand? To strengthen the ecosystem of our business. Do you understand? We were into rice farming. But the drought and the rainfall pattern actually discouraged us. And access to funding and finance was not there at the particular time. We needed it, so we stopped farming. And we just started outsourcing paddy. You get to just go straight into processing and production.
Okay, so that's interesting because a lot of the time people think, oh, if I want to get into agribusiness, I need to own the farm and I need to do the processing and sourcing and everything and packaging and everything. But what you're essentially saying is that you tried the farming side, but because of whether it be the weather or different factors, it didn't turn out how you wanted it. But you guys have kind of specialized and focused in the processing side of things, which is really, really interesting, actually. So that's interesting. And you said it's in Kebbi, right? The farm is in Kebbi.
Yes. It's in Kebbi State, and Kebbi State is the highest rice producing state presently in Nigeria. So
yeah, okay.
we are close to the market. At least we're close to raw material, yes, labor. Do you understand?
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And one question I wanted to touch on, which some people might think these are silly questions, but I wanted to touch on the varieties of rice, right? Because there are different varieties of rice, and you said you do the long grain rice. So what varieties do Nigerians tend to prefer? And also, I'd be keen to understand how they are different in terms of, I don't know, growing or cultivating. Are they all easy? Are they the same difficulty of processing? Like, so yeah, just around the varieties and their differences. Can you touch on that?
Okay. So talking about varieties of rice, You see, basically, there are just two. There are a couple of them. There's the lowland, the upland. You get. You see, the upland, they're mostly called the rain-fed upland rice. Then there's the lowland. Do you understand? There's a lowland. Then you see their method of cultivation is different. Do you understand? You see, the upland rice needs some more rainfall. Do you understand? More rainfall. That's why it's called rain-fed. Needs more rainfall. Do you understand? Once it has adequate rainfall, it has higher output. Do you understand? But it also has its own limitations. Do you understand when it comes to pest attacks? Do you understand? From birds. Then there's the lowland irrigated rice. Do you understand? This one where you can actually, integrate your irrigation. Do you understand? And yes, the popularly, long grain and short grain. According to feasibility report and statistics of the market, most people like the long grain. Do you understand? According to most people prefer the long grain. Do you understand? Most people prefer the long grain. So that is what the report has been so far. Most people prefer the long grain to do short grain.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. And then in terms of the rice that gets smuggled into Nigeria, is it actually different from what we're growing? Because some people could say, oh, the reason why we buy the imported one, aside from the sand and the impurities, is because it tastes better. Is that objectively true?
Talking about tasting better, let me tell you something brilliant about the Nigerian rice. The Nigerian local rice is highly medicinal. Like, trust me, my brother, it is highly medicinal. But when is attitude amongst we Nigerians, we tend not to appreciate what we have. Do you understand? You will lose it. Do you understand? We feel anything that is imported is better. Do you understand? We buy a shoe from the United States and we come back and like, I bought my shoe in US. Do you understand? And the young man that is building shoes at the corner of the street, his shoes are seen as rubbish. Do you understand? But if that young man is being encouraged, his shoes can actually meet and beat international standards. Do you understand? So I think we are lazy to put in the work. We're lazy to put in the work. We're lazy to encourage the work. So that's why we keep feeling like, okay, this imported rice are better. Do you understand? If China, Thailand, Asia, basically, because they are like the leading guys in rice production, if their people did not encourage what they were producing, I'm not sure they would have been able to cross the borders and actually have a large market presence. Do you understand? You get, and their rice is not even medicinal because our rice have more nutritional benefits, but the impediments, the constraints are just the lack of finance and technical know-how and poor equipment. Do you understand? Once we're able, because you see, Nigerians, we have the entrepreneurial spirit. We have the never die spirit. In fact, you don't even need to give us the full equipment. You just need to give us maybe half, and we'll make you do with that and do something excellent with it. Do you understand? Do something excellent with it. So you see, these limitations is actually what, because I'm not going to say, I'm not going to support that the imported rice are better. I'm not going to support that it's sweeter. Do you understand? Because when you're talking about sweet, you may actually be tasting all of those preservatives. Do you understand? You may be tasting all of those preservatives and you say, okay, this is sweet. Do you understand? Yes, it is clean. It is clean. It is clean because, they have better equipments. Do you understand? And you see, industries in this country were coming up. Different mills are coming up, and we're actually, producing rice that are meeting these standards. Do you understand? But one upper hand that our Nigerian local rice have is the nutritional benefits are higher than this imported rice. Do you understand? So when we start encouraging this, we'll start eating good. Do you understand? We'll start eating good and we'll have the best rice that is actually export ready.
Wow, that's amazing. It's funny because this is a recurring theme with Africa. we don't realize what we have, and we tend to look outside for whatever it is, you know, from foods to products, everything. But we've got the best of everything.
Exactly.
We're somehow what do you call it, brainwash or whatever it is to look outside. So that's interesting that you say that some of our rice is actually healthier. And I know that, you know, we have some of the best ginger in the world, but you know, it's very untapped.
Exactly.
So this is a recurring theme in Africa, and not just in Nigeria. So thanks for sharing that. And so in terms of Kebi as well, I'm just trying to get a lay of the land, because Kebi, for those that are listening on Clubhouse, it's in the northern parts of Nigeria, in the far north of
Yeah,
Nigeria,
northwest.
northwest of Nigeria to be precise.
Yeah.
Is so you said that Kebi is the largest, you know, producer of rice. Are there
Yes,
any
right.
other crops that grow alongside the rice? So, you know, maybe intercropping, or, you know, maybe for the rainy season I might grow this, for the dry season I grow that. Or do you just kind of grow the rice on the same sort of land over and over again? How do you know how that works?
Yeah. We just grow the rice on the same land, because one of the major things we suffer is the pest infestation. We don't want to grow too many. Then there is and there are no nice. Do you understand? We don't want to grow too many, and there's a problem dealing with different kind of pests. You get? We just want to have one common enemy. We know we're attacking one common enemy. And you know, we one of the major losses of in rice cultivation and rice production is, at the beds, the quilla beds. Do you understand? So you know, when you hire those boys to chase the beds, because, you know, see, in this part of Africa, we still hire people to scare the beds, bed scarers, human beings to scare the birds.
Okay.
In other parts of the world, there are now gadgets and now equipments that they are automated to actually do all of these things. Do you understand? But we're getting there. We are getting there. We're getting there. So basically, for now, we just do rice. We just do rice.
Okay. You touched on this very briefly earlier. In terms of, you know, the government policy. I brought that up in terms of the banning of the importation of rice. So for those that are, you know, maybe based in Nigeria and then maybe considering getting into rice farming, what sort of government incentives or schemes or funds or grants or whatever it is are there for people that are looking to get into rice farming?
For now, there are different schemes, but I'll speak on two. There's a Feed the Future, that is the Nigerian government in collaboration with the United States. Then there's the Anchor Barrage program. Do you understand? And yes, there are other initiatives, but all those other initiatives from the Bank of Industry and the CBN, you have to have been in the business for 3 years. Do you understand? So it's not for newbies. Do you understand? It's not for newbies. It's not for newbies. So, and coming into, if anyone wants to come into rice, you know, come into rice, you know, there's a body, there's a refund, Rice and Farmers Association of Nigeria, all of that. So when you register with the body, you would be opportuned to get some access to opportunities. Do you understand? And likewise, I'm also here as a rice consultant, because I also manage rice farms for a lot of people. You get manage rice farms for a lot of people that have the finances, they have the money. So I have some farms that I'm managing in Kebbi, in Taraba states, and in Kaduna. Do you understand? So I have at least those major locations. I have some rice farms that I'm managing for some people that have the money to actually maintain these things. So whoever is looking to go into rice farming can always reach out. Do you understand? We can always have a roundtable discussion on that. And the person should also know that, because when you want to get into a particular field, you need to relate to the people that already exist. And the union is a good way to start also, because it will give you first-hand knowledge on the opportunities that exist in the rice farming industry and sector.
Fantastic, fantastic. So you heard it here. SA actually provides consulting. He's not on the stage on Clubhouse right now because basically we get feedback when both people are on the stage and we're using Zoom at the same time. So send me a back channel if you want to get to know, how SA can help you basically with your rice farming. That's fantastic that you're offering that service, because I'm sure there's people that just, they have no idea where to start, but they just need someone to just guide them through the process. So if you can do that, that's absolutely amazing. I wanted to touch on something which is something you can't ignore. It's something that is just part and parcel of business, which is money, right? You got to make money. So I'm sure people are thinking, okay, it sounds nice, growing rice, people eat rice, blah blah blah, but can I make money? Like, how much money can I make? I mean, you don't have to tell us the numbers, but I mean, is it a profitable business? Is it good? Like, is this very small margins and you're going for volume? What can you tell us about as the Igbos call it, ego? What can you tell us about the money, please?
In all honesty, rice is blood money. Yeah, I have to be realistic with that. Rice is blood money. In any aspect of it, if you're just even into the sales of it, if you're into the farming, it's blood money. Rice is that crop that can give you 300% return and can also give you 0% return. 0% in the sense that you get it wrong from the beginning. You didn't get the training, you didn't get the expert advice, you didn't get you did not chill with the big boys. Do you understand? You did not meet the guardian angel to hold your hand. You didn't meet the experts. You didn't get the training. Do you understand? You just wanted to play smart. Do you understand? But it's also the place where you can also get 300% return. Yes, and if you do it right. If you do it right, do you get
Sorry, just I don't want to cut you off. You're on a train of thought, but just so I don't forget as well, this 300%, okay, is it just you kind of timing things right with the seasons, or is it something you can do on a consistent basis if you do it right?
You see, for those that actually have the money to spend, one thing I always encourage is soil testing. You see, when I'm not just, when I do my consultancy, I'm not just about the money. Do you understand? I like integrity. I love doing a good job. So let's say you tell me I have so farm. Do you understand? And I want you to do right. I tell you, see, first thing first, I need to carry out my feasibility study. I need to know if that your land is valuable for what you're talking about. Do you understand? And you see, there are seed varieties in rice. There are seed varieties. There are some seeds that would not work in one place and work in another. You see, there's Faro 44, there's Faro 52, there's Faro 61, there's Faro 59, there's Gawar R1, and there are some other modified seed varieties. There's Nerika that was just created by IITA. There are different seed varieties that would work in one area but would not work in the other area. They are viable in one area but not viable in the other area. Do you understand? And I also need to carry out soil tests. Okay, let's say for instance now, okay, you need the soil needs some essential nutrients, maybe nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Do you understand? Yeah, and the soil is lacking. Is lacking in one of those major elements that it needs to actually grow. Then I know that when I'm applying fertilizer, it is that one that is out. Let's say there's shortage of nitrogen. I know that, okay, I'll have more nitrogen input. Do you understand? I could also prepare the soil to acclimatize to that particular environment. Do you understand? So when we put those nitty-gritties in place, it would determine us to be able to have an estimated output. Do you understand? Okay, now that all of this is set and done, do you understand? Except for unforeseen circumstances that none of us can control, do you understand? We are looking to get this. At least you're not going to lose all. You're not going to lose all, and you're definitely going to make something. Do you understand? Because at least you did your homework very well. Do you understand? So, and you see, one thing I also integrate in my agri-business consulting is, I call it business continuity management. Business continuity management is a framework plan where you set down plans to prevent, protect, and recover from unforeseen circumstances that may run you out of business. Do you understand? So it's just more like risk management. So I set that plan in place. So it's basically more like you're getting into the business and you're untouchable. Just get from the legal angle to the climate, to the environmental angle, to the technological, to the human resource, everything. I try to look at all the different points where problems could arise from. And even before we begin, we already create solutions for potential problems. Do you understand? That may arise from those different quarters. You get, so that makes productivity high. Do you understand? Because we are ready. We're like almost ready for anything that comes up.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. When you talk about rice, I can hear the passion. I can hear this is something you've done for a while. So this is amazing to hear from you. And yeah, it's hard. It's not very often you hear someone speak so passionately about something. So I'm curious to know where you like got most of your knowledge from. Was it just like, you just started doing it and learned on the go, or did you study like some agricultural course or agribusiness course? Like what? Where do you get the knowledge?
Yeah. You see. I read agric in school, but I didn't know agric in school. Do you get that part? I read agric as a course in school, but I just did the course to graduate. Do you understand? I wasn't even interested. Do you understand? But when all of this came, when the old discouragement of the importation of rice and all of that, they were banning all of that. Then when the past president, Goodluck Jonathan, was leaving, I was in the hostel that day, and my hostel mate, he was the one that had the idea first. He's the CEO of the company. Do you understand? He's the CEO, he's the present CEO of the company.
Yeah, you there?
Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I had some
Okay, good.
issues with my
So,
video.
okay, good. He's the present CEO of the company. So it was the one that had the idea. Do you understand? And he spoke to me about it, and I was the visionary. Because as far back as 2017, I could see the potentials. So it's like, wow, okay, you can see even further than I can see. So let's do this together. Do you understand? So that's how the journey started. So basically, you see, I learned along the line. And I learned a lot through interaction and training. I love to interact with people. When people that know are speaking, I keep quiet. I learn from them. Then whatever it is that I learn from them, I go back to my book, I go back to my job, but then I do further research. Do you understand? So basically, I was self-taught. Do you understand? And I learned on the job. I learned from my mistakes. I learned from my losses. Do you understand? So basically, I was self-taught. And yes, I did a few training. But most of the trainings I did was on agribusiness management. Do you understand? Agribusiness management, how to manage an agribusiness. You get from ground to zero. Do you understand? From ground to finish. Do you understand? So, but in terms of the rice farming, I learned through interaction. I learned, from relating with the big boys in the industry.
That's great. That's great. I remember you said, okay, so you're from Delta State, but your rice is coming from Kebbi. So how does that work? Do you have a factory in Delta State or Kebbi? Do you live in Kebbi? Like, what's the logistics?
Okay, I'm based in Lagos State actually, and I'm from Delta State as per state of origin, but I've never been to Delta State. I look to go there someday, though. I've never been to my state of origin, but I'm based in Lagos. I've been in Lagos basically all my life.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
yes.
So
And
you
as
go to
regard,
Kebbi a lot?
I don't even go to Kebbi a lot. I have a working structure. I have an organizational structure where I don't need to always be there. Do you understand? I don't always have to be there. You get, I have a reliable team that does the work effectively, and they make things really, really easy. Shout out to my team. They make things really, really easy, so I don't always have to be there. So I'm here in Lagos trying to look at a way we can penetrate the Lagos market and the Southwest in general. Do you understand? And give the brand a face and put the brand out. Understand? So I'm carrying out administrative duties. Do you understand? So everyone have different roles that we're playing. So we have a presence in Lagos, we have presence in the North Central, and we're looking to also penetrate into the South, and the Southeast. We're penetrating little by little, but looking at the demand, we're still trying to expand our capacity to be able to meet up to some of these demands.
That's interesting. Because one thing that I found is it's not easy to get a team that you can rely on and everyone knows what roles they're playing and it's efficient. So was it just lucky you found the right people, or did you kind of trial and error? You tried this person, it didn't work and stuff like that.
Okay. Let me chip this in. You see, I learned leadership. I was, I have this paramilitary experience. So my understanding of leadership is different. Leadership is a responsibility, and it's an opportunity to serve. So I don't see workers as laborers. I don't see my team members as laborers or slaves. I see them as my brothers. I see them as my partners in progress. And one thing that has helped me so far is this. I don't judge the ability of a fish by its ability to climb a tree. What does that mean? I don't work with the weaknesses of people. I work with their strengths. Do you understand? If you love to sing and I tell you to sing for me, it is easy for you to just come and sing for me. Do you understand? It's easy for you to just come and sing for me. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Now, if I'm telling you to dance and all you know how to do is sing, I'm forcing you. Do you understand? I'm forcing you. I'm not working with your strength. So basically, I get to have this one-on-one interaction with my team, and I get to understand their strength. So I work with their strength, and I set down structures. I set down learning and training development structures and where they can improve on their shortcomings. But in the meantime, we work with their strengths. Do you understand? So the person that is good at sales, I don't put the person at accounting. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The person that's good at management, I don't put the person on the field. I don't put the person in production. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Every one of us have our individual gifts. So, and our individual strength. So I work basically with the strength of my team members, and that has actually made work very, 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 very easy. Very, very easy. And there's a beautiful level of understanding between me and my team members. Like I say, I don't see them as laborers or employees or staffs. I see them as my partners in progress, because without them, there will be no Cherish Rice, there will be no Cherish, there will be no production, there will be no brand. Do you understand? So you see that love has actually made them to continue to preach the gospel about the organization at all times. Do you understand? So that has been it. So it's not like I did one scrutiny and all, you get. Everyone is useful. Everyone is useful. Every single person is useful. All I just needed to do is identify their strength. They spoke on their strength, and I watched to be sure, because people can also boast about themselves. They say, I'm very good at so and so, and whereas they are not good at that. So when I say, okay, what's your skill? You say you're very good at this. I would watch. I'll give you time to show yourself. I'll put you under watch. Do you get? And when I see that, yes, what you said is actually what you're actually good at, then I know where to fix you. And with this ability, this is where you can perform effectively. Do you understand? So I work with the strength of my team members, and I lay down structures to help them also improve on their shortcomings. So that has just been it for us.
Amazing. Yeah, this has been a great session. We've covered quite a few things, and yeah, it's been a really holistic. We've talked about actually growing of the rice, the challenges in the sector, everything from managing a team. So this has been a really, really good session, and I'd love if anyone is in the clubhouse room wants to raise their hand if they have any questions for Essay. Feel free to do so. Bring you up. So welcome to the stage, Phil. Yeah, so whilst we're just waiting for things to load up, Phil's here. Welcome to the stage, Phil. Did you have any comments or questions for Essay?
The experience with rice that you make for at the various farms, have you used any biostimulants in any of your growing?
So Essay, did you get that question?
Well, I actually didn't get it. You just help me,
Yeah, I'll repeat the questions the people put on stage. So Phil was just congratulating you, and he was asking, with your experience in growing rice in different parts of Nigeria, do you use any biostimulants when growing your rice?
Do I use what?
Any biostimulants? Phil, do you have an example of that? I'm not familiar with the term biostimulant.
Biostimulants are natural products that we work along with fertilizer that increases yield, increases nutritional value, and depending on the crop, it can also increase.
You're talking about genetic modifications.
Tomatoes you get an extra 4 days.
Phil, from my understanding, you're not talking about genetic modification. You're talking about something that can go along with the fertilizer to help with nutrition and yield, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Perfectly said, yes.
Yeah, not genetic modification. He's just saying stuff outside of fertilizers, but that can go with fertilizer to add, to increase the yield or maybe increase nutritional value.
You see. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You see, biostimulants are not really used, not popularly used in open air farming, but mostly people use biostimulants. They use biostimulants for greenhouses. In my knowledge of biostimulants, do you understand? Mostly for greenhouses, and because but biostimulants are actually good. They're good. It's just like a supplement. You're eating and you're taking this supplement to just nourish your body. Do you understand? They're actually good. And the biostimulants that I also use them manure, rice composite. Do you understand? You see, when we produce all of that byproducts that come out from it, we produce a composite that we make a manure from it. Then we use it in the rice, as a fertilizer application, as manure. Do you understand? To increase productivity. Do you understand? To increase productivity, basically. Do you understand? But in terms of element and nutritional values, for now, it's just the fertilizers that actually do that for us. So we use the fertilizers in appropriate proportions. Do you understand? To avoid contamination. So we use fertilizer in appropriate proportion according to the soil test analysis report.
Fantastic. Phil, did you get that answer?
Africa, as well as other growers in fruit and vegetables. And our cereal growers are very, very pleased with how much better their cereals perform. Such an influencer in the world of rice, particularly in Nigeria, it might be beneficial from a financial perspective because it's a business opportunity in terms of being able to increase the yields.
Yeah, so Essay, did you get that or do you want me to repeat it?
You please amplify because I can't actually hear him clearly.
Yeah, so he was just basically saying he recommends you reach out to him and his company because I believe they do sell these biostimulants in Asia. And he's just saying, you know, because you're such an influencer, it would be great for you to try out their product. So what I would recommend, Phil, is sorry, say that again, Phil?
Africa too.
Africa
well
too.
known in Zimbabwe, southern Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana.
Okay, so yeah, Phil also sells his product in Africa. So Phil, what I recommend is because SA can't be on the stage because of the feedback, just send me a DM, back channel, and then I'll make the necessary introduction. Does that work for you, Phil? All right, fantastic. Thanks for coming on stage, Phil. Does anyone else have any questions before we start rounding things up? It's been a great conversation so far. And Ese, do you have any final words for people to encourage people to get into rice farming? Any leaving words just to get people excited about it?
Yes. Rice is a delicious meal, and farming it is even more profitable. So get involved now.
Fantastic. We have one more person that's coming on stage. Guys, if you want to get on stage, please do it now, because we're probably going to round up soon. So I'm going to turn off the hand raising very soon. But Subrat, are you on stage? I'm having some issues with my network, so feel free to speak when you can. I think there's some network issue. Subrat, you there? Nope. Okay, for some reason I can't get Subrat on stage. I think it's to do with my network. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. We'll bring you on stage, and we'll start rounding things off. But Subrat, if you're not able to come on stage, perhaps, okay, we've got another person. Tunde wants to come on stage and ask a quick question. I think it might be a network issue on my side, so forgive me, guys. But let me see what I could do. Okay, Tunde is on stage. Okay, Tunde and Subrat. Okay, I can see both of you now. Okay, so sorry, Tunde. Subrat was first, so we'll have Subrat ask his question, and then we'll have Tunde go after that. So Subrat, go ahead. How did I start the system of I'm just going is from the Irish tea, and that product is giving very good result over the rice crop in India, and we found so many positive things over the rice, because in India we are growing so many type of rice, like it's depend on size, it's depend on fragrance, and it's depend on how is sticky. So I also recommend here to wherever people need, they need to go with the biostimulant, because that is it's saving the plants through many stress, drought. Drought is one of the main factor for the rice growing countries. So biostimulant helping a lot at that stage also. All right, thank you, Subrat. Subrat, what you could do is, can you back channel me the product you just mentioned? I think it's it grows in Irish Sea. So can you just send it in my back channel, and then I'll post it to the top of the page. To the top of the page, so everyone can Google it. So basically, Subrat was just echoing what Phil said about the biostimulants, because they've been having some good results in India using the biostimulants. So I
would also love to connect with him. So if possibly he could reach out to your back channel, then we can actually have a robust conversation going forward.
Fantastic. So Subrat, I don't know if you heard that, but SA is happy to have a conversation with you. So send me a back channel so that I can have your contact details, and then I'll make the introduction with SA. Thank you so much, Subrat. And we'll be having the final question of this session today. It's been a great conversation. So Tunde, feel free to ask your question and then we'll wrap things up. Tunde, you're muted. Tunde is not here. I think we're having some issues on a technical level, but that's fine. Okay, Tunde, are you back? Okay, please speak closer to the mic because it's not very clear. So please speak closer to the mic so I can hear you. Oh, amazing, amazing. This is why I love Clubhouse. These are the connections we need to be making. So, Essay, Tunde is on stage. He's saying he's a Nigerian who lives in Houston, Texas, but he would like he'd like to invest. So he'd like to, see how he can possibly invest, whether it be in your business or just looking for investment opportunities in the rice value chain. So
it's okay. You just get his contact.
Yeah, sure.
Back channel.
Yeah, again, perfect. Okay, Tunde, send me a back channel and I'll make the introduction to SA so that you guys can have a lengthy, in-depth conversation about that. Is that good? Fantastic. So, thank you so much to everyone that's in the Clubhouse room. Thank you, SA, for giving us your time today. I think a lot of people will be inspired by what you spoke about. The podcast is going to be on YouTube, maybe early next week. Also, this Clubhouse room is being saved on replay, so you can always come back to this room and listen to it in your own time. But yeah, it's been a great conversation, and you're listening to Malobi and SA, and I'm going to sign out in a very, very quick second. So thank you so much, SA. And any final words, SA, or are you good?
Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm glad I was able to impact 22 and inculcate and re-inculcate in the hearts of everyone that rice is not just a meal, but rice is an investment. So make AWA the sunshine, get involved. You can reach out to me through Malobi, and this is a brilliant work you're doing, Malobi, and keep it up, because we need a lot of voices. We need a lot of voices around the exploits and what we're doing in the agricultural sector in Africa, because Africa is looking to change the world, in a positive way. So thank you for actually giving your voice.
Thank you.
For the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And thank you again to everyone. It's been a nice conversation, and I'll be signing out now. I'll leave the room open for 10 more seconds. So if you want to follow anyone on stage or in the audience on Clubhouse, please go ahead. But with that being said, we're going to sign out now. So thank you guys and have a nice day.